Hello and welcome everybody to the Summer Stage Qualifiers here in the East. I'm Vicky Kitty and I'm joined once again with Necra to take you guys through all the action after a very chaotic and hype day of Overwatch League yesterday. It's time to continue the run for this week, Necra.
Yeah, we had 4 incredible games in the Eastern region. If you didn't get a chance to check out the West games either, I highly suggest going back to take a look at the San Francisco Shock and the London Spitfire match, because that might have just been the most entertaining match of Overwatch this entire season.
Houston over Atlanta, like
that too.
It's
spoiler
there
alert.
There was so much fun, right? Yeah, you're right. But you gotta definitely take a look at those matches if you missed out on them, and if you guys missed out on the action in the East. You know what? It was just as fun too. Starting off the day with our contenders team really starting to make a way for themselves. Panthera yesterday was able to take it over the Guangzhou Charge. Now, Necra, our first 2 matches that we're going to be covering, you and I, today, are going to have these contenders teams face off against our Overwatch League teams. And surely, after the action that we saw yesterday in the West, even a little sprinkle from the East, surely our Overwatch League teams will be able to nail this down and solidify this run.
I mean, you say that, but I think that these contenders teams are teams you can't sleep on either. So you take a look at how Panthera overall has started to pick up the pace a little bit when it comes down to their new roster inclusions. But then taking a look at Dreamers, sure, they fall here or there, but I think that when it comes down to the overall power level of the teams and how they stack up against each other, I think you're going to end up seeing every team potentially take a misstep here or there. I mean, Soul Inferno also isn't totally undefeated when it comes to maps either. Neither is the Dallas Fuel. So it's possible. I feel like anything is possible. Maybe one day the map pool will lend itself to taking down either of those teams.
I just like stirring the pot out here, Decker. I just want to see some chaos continue on for this last day. Because you know what? If the upsets yesterday weren't enough, I feel like, I don't know, in the East, it'd be nice to get some more upsets. I feel like we're due even more after the action we saw yesterday. I'm not over with just Panthera with the Charge. But like you mentioned, Dallas being one of our strongest teams here in the East, I'm expecting a lot from this team. This may work into what Dreamers have in mind, especially after maybe taking some notes from Chatty and the way that he was able to run it down on that Ryan. You already know that Dreamer on the other side is definitely taking note from that. Looking at our current standings after the action that we've had after about a week and a half now worth of games here. This is the second week of the Summer Stage Qualifiers. So Infernal still lead the way here without dropping a map.
Yeah, you definitely have to take a look at that. I think they lost 1, as did Dallas Fuel, so they're both kind of neck and neck. And when you take a look at the first match of the day, you would like to be able to see Dallas Fuel actually keep up the pace there with Soul Infernal, being able to take that win in a 3-0 fashion. But I need to start taking a look at O2 Blast. They're 0-3 right now. Their win record's not looking too great heading into the last half of the Eastern Summer Stage Qualifiers, and Seoul Dynasty looking like a pretty mighty opponent for them. So a lot of stakes on the line when you take a look, especially, honestly, at all 3 of our matches today.
Yeah, there's so much to look forward to. Dallas Fuel being the first series to watch versus our contender team, Dreamer. It's going to be a really fun time here. Going forward, we also have the Hangzhou Spark versus Panthera. Can they continue on claiming a lot more of these Overwatch League teams? It's going to be a good time here. It's also going to be my first time to finally cover a Dallas Fuel match. It feels like it's been forever here, and alongside my good partner, Necra, it's going to be a good time. As well as hoping that we don't have those C9s that we saw, Necra. Am I right?
Yeah. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to take some notes. The Necro curse continues on. But we got to see how this plays out, especially since we are going to be able to introduce our teams very shortly here.
Yeah, Dallas Fuel. This is a roster that has a huge legacy behind it, and I can't wait to see them in action today.
too quickly. 2 uses left. Ungodly connection there with the Rampage. And Harpy, he's come up with the goods again. And Fielder goes down. It's going to be Sal Barry ready for 4.
Oh man, seeing videos like that always gives me goosebumps, especially hearing Uber's voice at the very end, just looking at this team, a legacy team at that, as we take a look at the starting lineup for their first series.
Dallas Fuel, the defending Overwatch League champions, and they are really starting to make a name for themselves in the second half of this season. They struggled a lot, Vicky. When we take a look at how they did in the first half of the year, it just felt like they were behind the ball a little bit with their Reaper Moira composition. Now that they've started to stray away from that and really started to show us some of those different looks with the Sombra, Tracer, Winston, they put in a ton of work in between that mid-season break to be able to show us that dive.
Yeah, I honestly have to say, their Sombra plays so far have massively improved compared to the last stage, as it's becoming much more acceptable here on that Sombra, and also providing that look that you were talking about, that flexibility as we take a look at some of the fans just getting ready out here to give their support, while also watching on the big screen. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. I saw the "Do you want to build a snowman?" That was really nice. Oh, is there another one?
Oh. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Sparkles everywhere. Hombit is God. Shout out to Unknown with the translation. I love it.
I like the little penguin. It's very cute. Is there another one? Wait. Oh no, okay, it's just the other side again. It's still amazing. The sign game in the Korean audience is on point. We need to step it up a little bit, Vicky, in the West.
Yeah, right? It's always so hyped to be able to see an audience live, but even better when you have a lot of that international audience just fill up the stage and giving you that energy. You have that energy, just different levels across different regions as we take a look at the starting lineup here for Dreamers now after the performance that we saw earlier within this week. Necker, they're looking to turn things around.
In their match earlier on in the week, it didn't feel like the dive overall was coordinated enough to be able to keep up with some of the stronger dive teams that we do have. And poor Dreamers, they've had a pretty tough schedule overall. I mean, they just played Poker Face. They had a really strong dive, but then Poker Face got kind of blasted by the Shanghai Dragons. And so you really are starting to see how these teams settle out against each other. And if Dreamers was having problems initiating the dive versus Poker Face, I really worry about how they're going to do against the Dallas Fuel, a team that has shown us very few cracks in their armor when it comes to the dive.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how Dreamers fell to Poker Face when Dreamers were the ones that took care of the Shanghai Dragons in the first week and then proceeded to also defeat Panthera, the team that took out the Guangzhou Charge in that series yesterday in their final match of that first week too. Taking a look at the side-by-side stats currently that we have of Bliss and Data.
So Bliss is going to be some of the Brigitte stats. I think when you look at the meta overall, Brigitte kind of flies under the radar. You get a chance to see her sometimes in the kill feed, being able to get a shield bash or a whip shot to be able to finish off an opponent. But other than that, it's tough sometimes to see the cookie placement. How are those packs really helping out some of these flankers? We are playing in a double flanker meta with the Sombra and the Tracer.
Yeah, our first map is going to be Busan, and this is going to work nicely into if we're going to maybe see. I'm not expecting it after the impact, if you want to call it that we saw last time from the Dallas Fuel, but I was going to mention the Echo Sun, the Edison, the Edifather, the Echo Sun. I don't know if we're going to see that again. We may see things change up here while we get set up, but Busan does allow more of that verticality where you could adjust and get on top of the high ground if you need.
Yeah, I think that the Echo could absolutely play a role here. If you are looking at downtown in particular, I feel like this is where you could potentially see the Echo. And when you talk about Edison's Echo, you also have to talk about Top Dragons. Because one of the reasons why Dreamers were able to win their first two matches is because of the fact that Top Dragon's Echo was so standout. It was so good. And I fully believe that if there is going to be an Echo that can go toe-to-toe with Edison, it would be Top Dragons.
Oh, absolutely. Especially after what we saw from Top Dragon before here. And that is exactly what we're going to see being brought out to the table. Nice anti landing onto Bliss and Edison off the rip. Edison does get the first pick onto Dreamer with the focusing beam, but Sad is able to retaliate off of the anti that we saw from Neeson.
Okay, Meeson's ante was good, but take a look at the one in response, and without that main tank and Dreamer, Dallas Fuel have a lot of ways to be able to try to access the backline.
And this is Hanbin that we're talking about too. It's nice to note that both Hanbin and Sparkle are both representatives for the Korean Overwatch World Cup. That's why we see so many fans coming out into the audience, and Hanbin going down first. He did buy a good amount of space, but it's also allowed Dreamers to take the point first. Top Dragon gets taken out by MCD. It is going to be a reset while Dallas Fuels start trickling in to find Dreamers.
Dreamers taking control of this point first also gives them a lot of onus to be able to just play this a little more defensively. So you can wait for Dallas Fuels to commit those cooldowns, and yeah, maybe just get a stick as soon as they walk in.
Because you have to imagine comparing Sad right now to Sparkle, who's absolutely insane on this Tracer. It's crazy, and Dreamer being able to find 2 picks already to elevate Dreamer's first initial take on this point.
So when we talk about Dreamers having a little bit of trouble with the dive, it was really the Sombra Tracer dive I felt like was falling a little bit flat. With Top Dragon in the mix on the Echo, it is an incredibly different story. And you can see just how much Dreamers has been able to do to just keep Dallas Fuel away from the point. They've got the nano boost as well. Let's see what Top Dragon can do with this.
Let's see, he's also got the duplicate, and right now he's already beaming down the Dallas Fuel. Edison and Sparkle get deleted while also having the duplicate and pulse bomb. Sparkle could have at least tried to make something work, but it's going to have to be safe for this next fight, considering that Dreamers are already rounding up to 65%.
Starting to look closer and closer towards that last fight territory. And if it was just the nano boost, take a look at the rest of Dreamer's ultimate pool. They've got 4 ults left to be able to throw this next fight and just control this round 100-0. There's the duplicate.
Oh.
I was gonna say there's the dupe.
Top Dragon tried getting cheeky. He tried getting cheeky there. He deserves to get punished. The rally was called in a little early from Bliss after they were able to take care of Top Dragon. But getting that first pick is going to start things off, be the green light that the Dallas Fuel need right now to contest on this point, as Dreamers are already rounding up to 97% here.
Yeah, Top Dragon overextended there. The Ana is also not the best duplicate choice if you're going to be that far forward. Potentially looking at something like getting a good sleep onto Hanbin, but there was such a quick reaction time by the Dallas Fuel that now they get to play a bit more defensively.
Oh, misses out slightly from the pulse bomb from Sparkle. We saw the same from Sad, who actually tried to get the pulse bomb to take up the Sparkle, trying to predict where that recall was going to position him originally. Dreamer does have the primal. Top Dragon finds the focusing beam on MCD, but Meeson is going to meet him in the spawn. Honor for Ana, while Dreamer taking out the backline from the Dallas Fuel. Set up Dreamers in the driver's seat while they're sitting at 99%. This is looking fantastic for Dreamers.
It's really good too because Dreamer gets a chance to just go after any sort of target, knowing that Top Dragon with the focusing beam can just finish everybody off. So take a look at that.
Man.
Retake here from Dreamers, 99%. I don't know who can touch.
I mean, Bliss can try to put one toe on that gets deleted, can't force it into overtime, and Dreamers take this first round of the first map.
That was so much cleaner. This is where I was starting to get really worried. How can Dreamers dive contend with the Dallas Fuels? I think it's really tough ask if you're looking at the Sombra Tracer versus Sombra Tracer, but when you're able to put Top Dragon onto one of his absolute best heroes, it becomes a completely different story. That was a huge key to success there for Dreamers in their first 2 matches, and you can see exactly why too. When you also have Sad's Tracer, this is a bit of a different look there from what they would run with the Sombra Tracer.
There's a bit more impact on the pulse bomb, and we are seeing the Dreamer Reinhardt. Korean Giga Chatty coming through after the action we saw yesterday. We gotta continue it on here in the East, Necra. Dreamer already trying to find himself into position, but Sad gets punished for it. Even Top Dragon putting up the Maywall to match that with Sparkle, but this is playing in the Dallas Fuel playground. It's Edison being on the Pride and True Reaper here, playing close quarters as he should. Does get separated just a little bit, finding some of that extra pressure, but losing out on Sparkle sets up MCD and Bliss to rack up those ult charge to contest Edison here, who is staying alive. Hanbin on the ram is going to be able to find Dreamer, but look who's coming through the back. Top Dragon and Neeson to clean up what is left after Sad comes in with the rest of Dreamers.
Okay, you talk about how this is Dallas Fuel's playground, and that's what you would expect, taking a look at how much practice Dallas Fuel has had as a team running this particular composition. But let's talk about Dreamers Reinhardt. That's what he's known for. That was their comfort, their bread and butter, taking a look at the Eastern knockouts, where they ended up getting a chance in that final.
The immortality that saved him there too. That was nice. He got prepared for that amazingly. Puts down the shatter, finds Hanbin and MCD, and with Dreamers having the point advantage, Edison running for his life, staring at Top Dragon in the face before he is also cleaned up. Amazing team fight win there. Did take up quite a little bit, but they will have the backline ultimates to work with from Dreamers.
Oh, they do. You look at like the amplification matrix to be able to create so much space. You also have the Symmetra ultimate online as well, but okay, at least there's a Maywall to be able to block off that amp, but look at the teleporter too. Such a great way to
No
pivot.
way. Oh, that would have been so cheeky if they got through the choke point right there. Still beautiful with the photon barrier from Sad. Still being able to find MCD. They trade that. Here comes the annihilation from Hanbin. Playing right around his close quarters with Bliss in the perfect timing on the sound barrier. Dreamers get shut down. Nice answer from the Dallas Fuel right there to help enable the annihilation with the sound barrier from Bliss.
Yeah, but that's 5 ultimates out of the Dallas Fuel's bank. They had to throw everything at that fight to be able to get past the defense of Dreamers. Now that they have, now they can kind of dish it back out. You've got Sparkles, May, start to wall people off. Edison is looking for a nice drop-down opportunity. Dreamers are going to struggle a little bit to get back into this one unless they get the May ultimate online, or Dreamer can land another Earth Shatter here.
Tries to break through the wall. Edson being able to find Dada is going to be big because the Immortality Field was called in from Neeson, but just a tad bit too late. The Shatter not going to be able to find that success. Amazing block from Hanbin on the barrier himself, but still with the Blizzard from Top Dragon, Dreamers clean up the frozen in their tracks Dallas Fuel with a team wipe, setting themselves back up when they're already at 70%.
Dreamers are looking at final fight territory again, as they were on downtown. And they've got the Photon Barrier, the Amplification Matrix, 2 of those defensive ultimates you mentioned before, and they're just going to go ahead and bring the fight to Dallas.
Find me in the side room here, says Dreamer. The Immortality Field trying to set him up for position and try to take some of this pressure, but with the Coalescence to answer that aggression, MCD playing a lot more in the back. Bliss getting saved. How is he still alive? The wall from Top Dragon and letting them to breathe just a little bit, actually helping out the Dallas Fuel in this case. Edison has found Dreamer, but he gets traded off for the aggro push. Hanbin's got the annihilation again here. Bliss is narrowing down on that sound barrier. The contention from overtime taken away in favor for Dreamers, and Dada is still alive. Look at the side angle from Top Dragon, just getting out of that line of sight of the annihilation. That's down from Sad.
Oh my gosh, the crossfire there was plenty to be able to pick up MCD. That's a huge source of healing eliminated.
Oh, Bliss is going to hold on to the sound barrier because this fight is already won by the Dallas Fuel. The good timing on the flip here, as you can already see Edison getting into position, just waiting to see if he could unleash that Death Blossom once he's over by the side.
That's a great call out there for Dallas Fuel to hold on to those ultimates. The sound barrier is going to be so crucial to try to start matching that progress and then hopefully bring us into a round number 3. But with Edison too, take a look at Dada actually not having a sound barrier online quite yet.
In the middle of the blizzard, and then immediately tries to get out of there, but while they're stuck in their own blizzard, here comes the Death Blossom from Edison.
5K.
Gets the 5K at the very end. The nail in the coffin. It's not Edison. Again, it's the Ed Father. He's going to be teaching them some lessons out here. Dallas Fuel now set themselves up as Dreamers are going to desperately come out with the support backline ultimates.
Oh, they have to use this beat aggressively to be able to get back to the point. Sparkle's so close. The ice block gets forced out.
Oh, it's a sound barrier. Now, overtime ticking away. The Coalescence. They lose out on Sparkle first. Dreamer setting them up. But look at Hanbin within Nemesis form. Catch me outside or the boxing ring. He doesn't even need to pop the annihilation at the end because they've cleaned up the points against Dreamers in this second round. Are you kidding me with this explosive start to this series?
Cow.
Map number 1, and we are ready toe for tat for these 2 rounds.
Oh my god. I'm just, you know what? I gotta call out Edison really fast though. He got the 5K. His team left him with the final blow onto Dreamer. And then he stole the 5K from Hanbin. No way! Alright, I gotta watch this Death Blossom again. This was insane.
That's typical Reaper play. That's the Reaper behavior. Yeah, we get to see at the end and then just wait for it.
Calling. Yeah, see? They left him! They left him so Edison could finish him off! Where was that? Where was that gentleman's service there for Hanbin? Excuse you. That's okay, though. I mean, yeah, Vicky, how else could you expect this match to start? That was so impressive to be able to watch both of these teams go head-to-head. Now we're going to end up seeing a different look from them once again. It's going to be the Sombra Tracer dive here for Dallas Fuel. And we've got the Sombra May Ramatra. Got a brawl here coming out from Dreamers.
See, Edison on the Sombra does get that hack onto Top Dragon. Marco adding in some extra pressure over to the side while the point does get unlocked. Edison again getting to position. Wow, the save from Meeson right there onto Top Dragon. He is getting focused down, and Dada getting hit with an anti as Meeson finds Edison from trying to harass Top Dragon. Dreamers with a beautiful peel to help out each other over by the side of the pillars. They're going to be able to take control over this point first.
Big control for them because now you get a chance to, once again, just play up close to the spawn doors. Dallas looking at trying to open things up here, potentially with the Sparkle Pulse Bomb. He was able to build that up relatively quickly heading into this next fight. But these antis from Meeson have been so good. There's not a whole lot that Dallas Fuel can do when the anti is going to start to pressure them away. How do you approach that if you're already half health?
Especially if Sad capitalizes off of that too. In a hack, we're trying to isolate maybe one of the back lines here. This is about to get that Nano boost. See Top Dragon over on the other side again. And holding a very aggressive position as Dreamer does get hacked and then gets hit with an anti. This is right there to help him out as Top Dragon's about to get the Blizzard within this engagement. The Nano boost coming online now for MCD as he puts it onto Hanbin. He's about to get the Primal 2 in case he just wants to keep himself alive on this point. Add in that pressure. The rally now called in from Dada, but with Top Dragon going out without using the Blizzard, here comes the EMP attempt. It does find Bliss, and they do capitalize as Dreamer now. He takes a no out of Hanbin's book, dukes it out between Sparkle and Bliss, and Dreamers remain on the point with this aggression.
That was a great call by Dada there to go ahead and just go for the rally. It gave Dreamers enough time to be able to use the EMP. Edison clapping back a little bit, but Dada was waiting. I think they knew exactly where Edison was going to try to translocate to.
Translocated and said, and I whoop real quick. Just Dada waiting for him. Oh, tries to go for the whip shot there. Hanbin diving onto the backline, harassing Meeson, who goes out. He tried to flow shot him in the distance. Did not get the shield bash either. Top Dragon gets hit with an anti. Meeson's gonna have to come back, but they do get that trade onto Hanbin. He goes out with the Primal. Number advantage is in favor of the Dallas Fuel if Bliss could stay alive after getting hacked by Sad. And he's got the Sound Bearer. EMP onto Dreamer. That's gonna allow the Dallas Fuel to now waltz right on top of the point, and they need to because overtime is taking away in favor for Dreamers.
Ooh, I mean, Dada at this point, though, is able to get away, so not being able to confirm that kill means that Dallas Fuel, they're going to have to prepare themselves for a pretty quick attack coming through from Dreamers. It's not going to be too bad to get those respawns through, and they also have Top Dragon's Blizzard. Okay, Dreamer gets hacked, so now Dallas Fuel does know that Dreamer's going to have the Annihilation online, but do they know that there's also 3 more ultimates, maybe even 5 in the tank? Dreamers can just cycle through everything to be able to take back control.
To see with the Blizzard being the first one utilized here, and the hack from Sad onto Bliss, they already know the Sound Barrier is there. You mentioned it, just being able to check that. Here comes a Sound Barrier. Hanbin does get put to sleep, and Sparkle sends out the Pulse Bomb. Great impact of Meeson getting taken out there. Dada did have the Nano Boost put onto him originally, so he could be the raid boss in this side room, and it's worked out in their favor. The rally activated right afterwards to clear the points. They are going to be able to retake it, but nice call from the Dallas Fuel to just disengage for it now, to then re-engage once the Dreamers are able to take that point. Sad with the EMP, right into the open arms of the EMP. Hanbin gets caught in that, but he's got the Nano Boost from MCD, so that way he can continue on this frontline aggression.
Oh, Dreamers have to close it out here, though. Dreamers already antied and might be able to go down, but looks like the anti's going to expire, and hopefully Meeson can get it back up. But he can't.
Wow.
Overtime.
The isolation from Bliss right there to find Dreamer. But meanwhile, look who's popping off. It's Sad, a huge ante onto Dada and Top Dragon. This actually may have helped everything for the Dallas group from MCD. Yes, he gets hacked, but it's only Sad and Top Dragon that were left. And Dreamer makes a desperate swap from the Diva right back over to the Ram, understanding they still have some time to work with here.
They do. The only unfortunate thing about how long that fight went and how many ultimates that they threw at this is that the only thing that they really have to engage into this next fight would have been the Blizzard. But Top Dragon's actually just going to go ahead and give that up. Wants to go over the Tracer, hope to get a little bit more of that one clip potential. But Edison has the EMP. There's no way for Dreamers to stop this right now except to play super defensively.
Oh no, Top Dragon dead. Oh no, the immediate turnaround. They saw the opportunity and they took advantage of it. The EMP into Hanbin jumping on top of Top Dragon. Dada did get caught in that EMP too. Immediate disengages the post bomb. Trying to run away, gets caught. Meeson's the next one to go down, and the Dallas people have flipped this in their favor. Dreamer making the swap over to the Winston.
It's going to be the big Winston swap just to be able to try to get back. Sad's going to be on the point to at least proc the overtime, but there has to be an initiated dive.
Time ticking away here. Dada does have that rally, but MCD is about to get that nano boost. Bliss doesn't have the soundbird just yet, but they will know to try to target him here. The nano boost now put onto Hanbin as he's about to get the primal. They're going to be able to live for so long to contest on this point unless Sad can get something cooking with his EMP. Top Dragon going out though. Huge EMP! Even after Bliss uses the sound barrier at the right time. But there's no follow-up potential from Dreamers. MCD with another insane ante has forced the Dreamers off the points and allowing Dallas Fuel to take map number 1 in a very sweaty fashion.
That was super sweaty. Those final 2 rounds, it felt like Dallas Fuel were fighting for their lives. Especially after downtown with the Wave Dreamers in such a commanding fashion. I was pretty nervous there for the Dallas Fuel Vicky.
That honestly was way too close for comfort. Very similar to what I saw between the Dallas Fuel and the Shanghai Dragons. Even though they had won, the Shanghai Dragons still took a map. And we have a lot of expectations with the Dallas Fuel making a turnaround in the way that they've been playing the composition. We got map number 2 on the other side of this break. You do not want to miss out on the action. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, everybody. The Dallas Fuel take map number 1 versus Dreamers, but man, was that close. Round 3 down to the wire from both sides. Now we're moving on to map number 2, where we're going to a hybrid map, and currently Fuel are 2-1 on hybrid. Dreamers are 1-2 on hybrid, so Fuel have that slight advantage here, but we are going to be moving on to a map that Dreamers definitely feel comfortable at. Perhaps it's going to be Numbani.
Yeah, we saw the little bit of a sneak peek of what the map pool is going to look like for the rest of this series, and this one is honestly where things get a little interesting when we talk about just how the rest of the series could go. It started off with a win for the Dallas Fuel. We hadn't seen either team actually play on Busan before, but now Dallas Fuel haven't played any of these maps while Dreamers has. I wonder if any of that intel may come into play here, but we're not going to see any swaps from the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, just sticking to what we got with our roster currently. We see the audience still getting hyped, you know, letting everybody know casters look good. Casters in the arena, gonna give them their hype here as we take a look at Dreamers. No change-ups here as we get to see what the Dreamers gotta adjust, because they were so close against the Dallas Fuel, sending it even all the way down, finding some individual picks here from the Dallas Fuel onto some overextending members of Dreamers in that final map. And we are moving on to Numbani here for Dreamers, which could play into that top dragon echo play that we had seen earlier.
It's very possible, but when we saw Dreamers play this versus the Shanghai Dragons in that matchup, we actually saw more of that long-range damage coming out from Sad in the Hanzo or the Ashe, and then Top Dragon focusing down on playing the Tracer. I see a lot of echo on Numbani, and based on how Top Dragon has been able to bring that out of their pocket, and also how dominant that echo performance was on downtown in particular, it wouldn't surprise me if they wanted to shake things up just a little bit to bring that echo back out on Numbani A and B.
Especially when you compare what impact Top Dragon has had with the Echo and how comfortable he looks versus Edison, where the Echo could sway a little bit, including when we saw them in the series versus the Shanghai Dragons, in that one map that the Shanghai Dragons felt confident in. Going now over to Numbani here also could work into the amazing play of Sad, who has been popping off on that Tracer, which is also incredible to see side-by-side comparison to the impact that Sparkle has done. Even though Sparkle did end with, I believe it was 3 to 4 more elims in that final map alone, it was Sad who had about 1,000 to 2,000 more damage over Sparkle at the very end.
Yeah, so part of that is definitely because Sad was also able to flex in between the Symmetra and the Sombra. And a lot of that dominant performance and how many picks that Sad was able to get overall definitely plays a role. But it's really interesting that Dreamers DPS can actually flex in between who plays the Tracer, so that Sad can pick up the Tracer when Top Dragon wants to play the Echo, like we're seeing here now.
See how this is going to work. It's the matchup that we were expecting going on to Numbani. It provides that very similar verticality that Busan does when it comes to trying to find these different angles to contest the high ground here. Hanban got hit with a huge anti, still managed to survive the MCD right there. Sparkle looking for a cheeky play onto the back line, and also split the attention from the Dreamers so that way they have to look behind them, while Hanbin now dives in, and Edison moves in with a focusing beam, nailing down Top Dragon but getting shot in the air with a sleep dart. Meeson now is allowing Dreamer to capitalize off of that one pick. The Fuel are incredibly low, having to back away in time. The anti is going to spell doom for MCD, and Blitz is going to meet him back in the spot.
Something that Dreamers does really well is even if a player goes down, they have a great understanding of how they might want to approach the rest of the fight so that they can still end up winning it out. They lost Top Dragon so early on because Edison was able to beam him down, but still able to just control that space and make sure that Dallas Fuel can't do anything too sneaky. They know Sparkle's just kind of back there right now. He's a little stuck without his team at the moment.
And he keeps trying to go for it too. They're going to catch on to this more frequently. And the communication is beautiful, right? I mean, with a nano boost, now they have the opportunity to just hold forward here. Pulse Bomb doesn't land its mark from Sad, but Dreamer's also about to get Primal. It's about buying space and time away from the Dallas Fuel now that they're reaching 2 minutes, less than 20 seconds here.
Exactly. That Pulse Bomb just allowing Dreamer to be able to get out of dodge. Now the Dreamers can regroup and... Ooh, nice stickies there on the Hanbin.
Ooh, the duplicate. Top Dragon's going to be able to copy the Ana here. Okay, well, that didn't last
That's
very
why.
long. But it's okay. It was all just distraction because Sad moves in, gets the 3K. Top Dragon gets revenge right back onto Edison. And then Hanbin's going to meet him back with a team wipe here from Dreamers.
Dreamers played that so well. I don't even mind if Top Dragon just used the Ana duplicate to get a sleep onto Edison so that Edison didn't just jump the backline there. But hey, sometimes that's what you need, just being able to make use of the utility that that duplicate provides. And Dreamers, once again, with a very firm hold on this point A defense. Hanbin's so low.
Ooh, yeah, now real quick, Top Dragon falls incredibly low, but with the rally from Dada, is going to be able to help restabilize him just as quick. They're playing this so well. Nice positioning here from Sad as he moves forward with the pulse bomb pick onto Blizz. That was right after the rally had been popped here for the Dallas Fuel. They do have the primals. Hanbin's going to try to force everybody from the Dreamers off from the high ground to enable the rest of Dallas Fuel to now move in. They have less than a minute, and now's the opportunity with Sad going down to take advantage of this limited time bank. Dreamers gets put to sleep right after he has the primal, but they have so many ultimates to work with, but Dallas Fuel are falling like flies.
They're falling and they're using ultimates without any value. Top Dragon ends up duplicating the Brigitte. I don't think that that was entirely necessary. But when you're staring down the barrel of 30 seconds left here for the Dallas Fuel to try to get in, all you have to do is dodge Sparkle's Pulse Bomb, and you have Meeson's Nano to be able to do that. Whoever gets stuck, as long as it's not Meeson, should be fine. Are we looking at a full hold? You might be looking at a full hold here, Vicky.
It's getting, oh no, I mean, with Bliss going down, this actually
okay.
may be. Oh, wow. Meeson is so good, and then Top Dragon capitalizes with the focusing beam. Definitely going to be in the favor of Dreamers here for this final fight if the Dallas Fuel can force the overtime. With the desperate Diva swap from Hanbin here, he's going to be able to stay involved in this fight a lot longer. MCD does get that pick up to Dreamers. This is the opportunity now for the Dallas Fuel to trickle in. Hanbin gets hit with a big anti. Sparkle sends out the Pulse Bomb. Misses out on the Pulse Bomb, but still gets a follow-up damage from Dada. That's the follow-up from Sparkle and Hanbin making that swap over to the Diva. Dreamers now backing off as they're outnumbered here. The Dallas Fuel are able to get that first tick, second tick, and now get the payload moving.
What a clutch factor coming through from Dallas Fuel. Just reminds me of that very first map of Busan and how Dreamers bring it to 99% before Dallas Fuel are able to sneak it back away from them and end up taking the wins there on Mecha Base and Sanctuary. Now they're kind of doing it again. The Overtime Warriors, Dallas Fuel now usually are able to take that inch and turn it into Mile. Edison also with another duplicate now that Dallas Fuel can kind of go on the offensive. Feels like they're able to play a bit more aggressive now, but Dreamers are back to try to hold this cart at this corner.
Man, these angles that Dreamers are taking right now, they're splitting so much attention so that they can focus by the front line. MCD gets hit with an anti, and then the follow from Dreamer. Yes, he gets put to sleep in the middle of the air, but Top Dragon with a duplicate is going to be able to copy the Ana. Has a nano boost, already puts it onto Sad now. Sad, you already know the impact he's had. Now Edison in trouble after getting booted out of the duplicate himself here. Sparkle does have the Pulse Bomb ready if he could get something going here, but with the way that Dreamers are playing a little split up, he's just trying to focus on the back line as he tries to find Meeson and misses out on the Pulse Bomb.
Meeson now alive is able to just keep Dreamer topped up, and there's been no progress here from Dallas.
MCD has been on point with these sleeps immediately when Dreamer just jumps in, but Meeson has been slippery, smoother than butter when it comes to avoiding Sparkle. Now less than a minute on the clock to get to that second checkpoint, and the backline has been deleted by Sad. Dada with the rally puts Sad in that position, and Edison's fighting for his life in the side room, nowhere to run after he does find out on Meeson. Dreamer gets the retaliation onto Edison.
That's gonna be another respawn here for Dallas. And Vicky, they're starting to run out of time again. 30 seconds left on the clock. And they gotta try to use all the gas in the tank to be able to just keep this payload moving. But how is the big question. Sparkle's been looking for these pulse bombs, not really able to land the sticks that he would like onto the back line. Especially when Dada and Meeson just continuing to watch out for each other, knowing that they are the primary targets.
Nice anti, but Sparkle had that recall too right there. Hanbin is incredibly low. He's got the primal reset. Dreamer uses primal first, and with the rally being used by Fuel, they still have so much utility in the bank with those ultimates. Edison's about to get the duplicate, and overtime ticking away. Dallas Fuel always wait to the last minute. They like to feel something here. That's why they're waiting out on these ults. The focusing beam from Edison. Top Dragon stays alive. The healing output from Meeson is insane, but he goes out from the pulse bump from Sparkle before he can utilize the nano boost. Now here comes Hanbin at the circus, juggling around the backline, finding Dada here as Dreamer also falls low with no sustainability, only the health bags. Sad is coming in to get revenge. Dreamer and Hanbin both get taken out, but the number advantage is still in Dallas Fuel's favor.
Dallas were able to keep the backline busy enough that they weren't able to end up healing at the front line. So Dallas Fuel, once again at the 11th hour, able to sneak this payload over the line. And they are now looking at trying to get that full map completion. Edison has another duplicate. You're starting to get a really healthy cycle of these ultimates for Dallas Fuel. But yeah, the Dreamer is just kind of continuing to falter under the pressure here, Vicky.
Actually crazy to see how Dallas Fuel always come in, swooping in the last minute. Sad finds Edison again. They still have time for another fight with that duplicate, the nano boost, as well as Sparkle that's been having these nicely impactful pulse bombs, especially within these crazy skirmish of a fight.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Dallas Fuel, they just want 10 seconds left on the clock. That's their miracle run right there. So Dreamers can take off all the time that they want in the world, but here they go. Dallas Fuel, 30 seconds left.
Oh, Sad used up the recall. Sparkle now forced out to use the recall himself, but Sad's just trying to desperately try to go for that health pack inside that side room. Edison gets the duplicate onto the Brigitte to get that rally quick as the nano boost was used from MCD onto Hanbin earlier. Nice anti coming in from Meeson again from left field, gets booted out of the duplicate. Dreamer gets hit with the shield bash after Bliss pops the rally. He gets deleted. Now Dada tries to replicate that. Dreamer has the spawn room doors right behind it here, but he will be able to come in with the primal. No time left as the overtime gets activated, and Edison does find Top Dragon. Meeson gets put to sleep, and even with the pulse bomb getting stuck onto him, he was still dead anyways. Dreamer's gonna come in with the primal, lasting for as long as he can to wait out for the rest of Dreamers to make their way out of the spawn room doors.
Throwing some hands. Someone's going to come back and touch the cart, though. It's going to end up being Dreamer's job as well as Sad when he ends up coming out of the spawn, but they're so low. Oh my god, are Dallas doing it?
The fact that they're funneled in that side room was just easy pickings for Edison with the focusing beam, but now Hanbin is forcing everybody to hide in that side room. Gets put to sleep, allowing the backline from Dreamers to force their way out. Let me in. Now the tray comes in, and nobody left from Dreamers to stop the Dallas Fuel. Finally getting this payload to the finish line with no time left in the bank.
Oh my goodness. It just feels like another blast from the past. Like we just saw this. Dallas Fuel when they got the fire under them and you know the Popo coming for them, like Dallas Fuel, they just kind of get away with it. Dreamers too. They just aren't able to squeak it out. I mean, the pressure I feel like just gets to them and they end up faltering, not following their game plans. When it does come down to the wire, their focus fire just gets a little bit off.
I'm just like wondering, is the worst matchup for Dreamers just the overtime? Is that?
I think it is.
Is that their demons? Is that the sleep paralysis demon that Dreamers need to overcome? Because it happened last map. It's happening again, time and time again. It's just crazy to see how Dallas keeps squeaking this out, and Dreamers see that overtime clock and just fumble everything.
I don't
Gotta
know.
work on that extra pressure.
No, please. Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me.
Surely.
It can't be true. Wait.
Oh, they must have looked at the script of what happened in the West.
Oh, I'm actually kind of excited about this.
Oh, they're
okay,
cooking.
Edison knows. Edison knows. Dreamers are gonna come out with this anyway. But it's all a matter of whether or not Sad is able to get this teleporter set up. They're just gonna go ahead and go underneath the point and try to grab somebody in the back. Wow, the reflex is there, but fortunately that anti is not gonna hit from MCD.
Oh, Dreamers with that counter rotate here, and
Goodbye.
Dreamer choosing violence here. He's literally trying to find everybody, and Dallas Fuel's like, we do not want any business with this. The way that they're just quickly rotating out of what Dreamers want to work into their game plan here. Forward here for the back. A huge anti finds 3. That's gonna cost Top Dragon and Neeson their life. And with a comp like this, they need all the time to work with, so that way these strats, especially with a teleporter, actually work before the reset comes in from Dreamers. So they're definitely gonna be swapping probably.
All right, yeah, I mean, Dreamers got to give this up right now. It didn't work. It was really cute that they tried it, but at the end of the day, it's really not going to be a composition that beats a team like Dallas Fuel if they're able to take it down once. The Bastion is supposed to be one of those compositions that tests the other team's synergy, the other team's communication. Dallas Fuel were able to dismantle that beautifully with the counter rotates that you were calling out. So now the Dreamers are pretty behind after trying that. Look at Edison is going to have an EMP by the time the Dreamers move back in.
Top Dragon getting topped off by Neeson. The EMP from Edison finds Top Dragon and Dada, and that's now allowing Sparkle to move in. It's a Dreamers closed space, gets that pulse bomb pick, and it's another advantage fight here in favor for the Dallas Fuel.
Dallas too, this is going to be really rough for Dreamers to get back into this because Dallas, they just have that ultimate advantage. They only needed the EMP there to really close out that fight, and Dreamers are still working up to their first ultimate of this round. Neeson, Nano, that has to be the initiation tool for Dreamers to get into this, but what if you have Hanbin being able to dish one out right back at you? It's going to be a
Especially
tough
with the
matchup
Olo
here.
economy.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
the old company that they're working with is just so much. They do have the nano boost that they finally got online here for Dreamers, and here comes the pulse bomb that doesn't find the aggression onto that backline as Bliss pops in the rally. Nice anti from Neeson. Top Dragon gets that duplicate as well. MCD has a nano boost in his hands, so does Hanbin with the reset on the primal, so a lot of survivability still left from the Dallas Fuel with a minute and less than 30 seconds on the clock for Dreamers to get this payload moving.
MCD goes down, but that's what you have the Primal Rage for, to be able to buy some time for MCD to get back. Can he? Where did Hanbin go? Oh, is it Dreamer? Dreamer just said goodbye. Please go away. You are not welcome here.
Han gone right there because he is not there existing. Edison Sparkle also sent back to the spawn. Top Dragon finishing off what was left on the point here to finally get some progress moving with this payload. And that limited time bank here, and now you can see this forward direction that Dreamer is taking to clear some of that extra space with that bubble for managing to get onto the high ground to continue on that pressure.
They need to. They were already behind in the ultimate economy. Poor Dreamer, though, a bit of a pinch for him. But that's been able to give a lot of the space over for this payload to round those first few pretty dangerous corners, because this is where Dreamers had stopped the Dallas Fuel in their attack push before, well before this.
Ooh, EMP. Isolating Sad. Top Dragon gets taken out by Edison right after the Unleash. Number advantage in favor for the Dallas Fuel as the anti does land onto Hanbin, but no follow-up opportunity here as it's really only up to Sad and Edison and Sparkle are able to still hold that front line while Hanbin's on the high ground here, gets hit with a huge anti, gets dove on originally by Dreamers, but is able to get away in time.
The cleanse came in really clutch there. MCD has just been on fire when it comes down to making sure that Hanbin can do his job. If MCD wasn't there, if Bliss was not able to get those cookies down, this would be a very different story.
Edison has had Top Dragon's number right now, actually narrowing down what a problem Top Dragon has been in disguise. About to get the duplicate for this next fight, as he's the first one to get picked off here originally. Dada does get hacked. Leeson's right there to help him out. Dreamer has a primal, and now we're going to see how they're going to play this into the nano boost from MCD onto Hanbin, who's about to get the primal for that survivability too.
Oh, Top Dragon has to pop the duplicate here. That's really low after the stun.
Could get this rally online very quick here. Nice anti onto Sparkle and Edison. Follow-up perhaps here? No, not going to happen as Edison is able to get back to that health pack. Sparkle as well. Getting topped off. Hanbin's going to be able to pop the primal here. Dada will be getting the rally for this fight for as long as it goes on. Very scrappy on each side. As satisfying that 1v1 versus Sparkle, and Hanbin now pops the primal.
Primal Rage, too, means that Dreamers are going to have to back away from this one, but maybe again, once again, into the loving arms of Edison's EMP.
The EMP, the timing on the rally from Dada there, though, isn't even going to be enough as the follow-up comes in. Huge EMP to find 4. Sad and Top Dragon go down, and the backline is next here. Less than a minute now on the clock to at least get to that second checkpoint for Dreamers.
Oh, the bait and switch. Dallas Fuel are so good at that. Making Dreamers back up, and then Edison's have to come in with the 1-2 punch. But Dreamers, their final hope lands on Stats, Pulse Bomb. Now you gotta look at the Nano before Dallas Fuel is able to pull the trigger first.
What a crazy turnaround that we're seeing here. The Nano Boost now. Hanbin moving in. Everybody was funneled in that side room. They put him to sleep, wake him up here as Beason's fighting for his actual life. Hanbin got away with harassing the backline. Top Dragon punishes Hanbin for the overextension. And look who's right there to be in the insurance policy. It's going to be Sparkle who manages to back away. Less than 10 seconds up for Dreamers to force us into overtime.
Oh, Dreamer's getting so low too. Look at Edison just kind of bullying Dreamer away. Sad's able to touch the cart, but it's still Nano time. You gotta Nano Top Dragon or Dreamer here for sure. Oh, Top Dragon gets hacked.
Oh, he gets hacked, but he pops a duplicate right here. Can he get the EMP? Would actually be insane. Dreamer has a Nano Boost onto him as Top Dragon's just chill trying to farm the EMP charge. He can do it right here versus Hanbin. He has it. Is he going to be able to pop it overtime? Everybody from Dallas will split up. Here he goes to Alicia. It's been able to find Edison. Oh, Bliss 2, the follow-up isn't there. Dada gets taken out. Hanbin saw the opportunity with everybody holding forward to take advantage of the backline. Dreamers have turned into nightmares as the Dallas Fuel take map number 2, putting them at match points.
Oh man, this is exactly why Dallas Fuel are so scary. Edison Sombra has been so clean this entire stage. With the communication there, with Hanbin, MCD, just the entire team, Vicky, they look like a well-oiled machine when it comes down to playing this dive.
It's just also nice to see the difference between how one team is able to stabilize when all stakes are out on the table and overtime is ticking away. Dallas Fuel seem to take a reset on that mentality. All about that experience versus Dreamers here. That is going to be map number 2 on Numbani, guys. On the other side of this break, we do have map number 3. Can't wait.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Honor. Personnel. Help! Over here. Thank you for the assistance.
Close your eyes.
Hello, welcome back everybody. Dallas Fuel currently sit at match point versus Dreamers, a team that has been taking it down to the wire on these last two maps and maybe feeling the pressure from these tricky situations. It's always been very tight between these two teams right now, and we are moving on to our third map, Necra.
The third map too, after what I've seen from just how Dallas Fuel have been able to clutch it out in these amazing moments and overtime, and sometimes just these disadvantageous 4v5 scenarios, Dallas could just get the full shutout here. I don't put it past them. I really don't put it past them here, despite how well Dreamers have been performing and taking these maps so close.
We are seeing some change-ups though. Dallas gonna be sticking to the lineup, but we are, the same, but it's gonna be from Dreamer's side that are gonna be making some adjustments that add into their tank flexibility that you and I were actually talking about earlier this week on what could allow Dreamers to elevate them to that next level, which means Dreamer is gonna be sitting out. Liga is going to be moving in, which is pretty telling on its own, as Liga is a masterclass diva when he is able to take advantage of the map that we're going to be coming up with next, which should be an escort map, which means we will be taking a trip over to Circuit Royal.
Yep, it's going to be Circuit Royale as the next one, and in addition to Liga stepping into the roster, we also have Dagon also going to be taking Dada's place. Speaks to me a little bit that maybe we get a chance to see a little bit of double flex support, potentially Dagon going to be able to bring out something like a Zenyatta. That might be really great to see if you are expecting to just have a lot of explosive pressure with some of these snipers. Circuit Royale, absolutely known for running something like the double Sniper Hanzo Widowmaker, or even just, I expect the Hanzo out of SAD.
Yeah, you have more of those open sight lines like we had seen when we had Circuit Royal just yesterday too. Taking a look at the audience and how excited they are just to give their support to some of these teams here, getting ready for some more matches as we take you guys through the rest of the East. It's been a banger so far between these two teams. It's been very close. Too close, I would say, for comfort, especially looking at Dallas's schedule. They do have to face off against the Soul Infernal as their first match next week, and they gotta iron things out against a team like Dreamers if they do want to find that success, not let it get as close as it has been right now. And it is gonna be Circuit Royal once again, so much more of those open sight lines to help enable these snipers.
Yeah, I want to speak a little bit though, like, yes, Dallas needs to iron some things out, but at the end of the day, I think you can give more credit over to Dreamers for just being a good team overall. Like, that was a team that people were looking at and said, yeah, they're great. I'm nervous. Hangzhou Spark, I'm nervous to play against Dreamers, especially when Hangzhou Spark was the team that was waiting for them in that winners finals when Dreamers made that miraculous lower bracket run in their Eastern stage knockouts. But I can't wait for that Dallas and Soul Inferno match. That's gonna be
so many amazing matches.
It's gonna be so good.
I mean, after the action yesterday, it's just exciting. We are starting things off with a pause. You would think that Achilles is on here. He is not. But we are just getting set up here. I always got to throw that out. Every time I see a pause out here in the East, I always think about him. But while we do...
Achilles.
Yeah, right? He's got the pause curse. You got the C9 curse, Necra. I don't know how this works out, but it's like scripted, but it's also what we could expect from what we go into more Overwatch League matches. But hopefully that doesn't end up being the case from Dreamer's side going into this potential last map, because once again, Dallas Fuel are up 2-0 in the series, sitting at match point. Making these changes, though, in this roster going into this final map. Now, Necra, you mentioned Dagon, you mentioned Liga. What can you expect now that we are going to Circuit Royal that would help benefit this team with those swaps? Because we've been seeing a lot of pop-off moments from the individual performances of Meeson, of Sad, Top Dragon. What can you think that can be changed here for this team?
So with both of them coming into the roster, you would expect to see something like the Diva, and we haven't seen a whole lot of Dagon at this current stage, but maybe seeing, the BAP Zen Ana, something coming out there in the double flex support lineup that would make a lot of sense to me. Liga, though, gonna try out this Sigma. So this is where I wasn't 100% sure what we were gonna see at the end of the day, because we've seen dives on Circuit Royale. I don't like them. That's just that's not the call. So I appreciate them trying out the Sigma and hoping that that's going to be able to show us even more about why Liga is such a good off-tank player. What?
Oh,
Huh?
That's one way to start things off for Dreamers. I mean, we talked about the open sight lines.
It was a Genji!
MCD out here swap to the Mercy just to get the res and then swap back. All right. I mean, it was a risk that they're willing to take.
Big brain. You may as well, right? If you're gonna still hit spawn, just go for the swap.
Hanbin?
Okay, huh. Huh.
So is the scary matchup that Discord orb into dealing with Sad, huh? Edison gets the retaliation, but with the Discord orbs and some help damage from Meeson before he gets taken out, Sad is also able to find that pick onto Sparkle, who just wants to have some fun. Being on the Genji here in Circuit Royal, we've seen this before. At the very least, to get the follow-ups from these Discord orbs from MCD, perhaps, but he has just been shut down every time he shows his face to Sad.
Oh, no. Oh, Sad, just having his number. You see the Genji, and you would hope that that's going to be something that will be able to keep these snipers from being able to click those heads, so you get the deflect in there, just to be able to push them away. But I can't wait to see the rest of this Sad Edison Widowmaker duel. That's going to be really fun. Sad already kind of getting the upper hand on that, though.
Ooh. Nice advantage right here for Sparkle. He saw Top Dragon out of position and then capitalized here. You see that deflect, but since he used that deflect, he disengages and a nice time there to avoid being the line of sight of Sad for reasons like that. In the open doorway, Edison falls victim to Sad's line of sight, clicking on his head. Well, there's two out from the Dallas Fuel, which now has enabled Dreamers to get right back into position after they originally lost out on Top Dragon.
Alright, so the Sad versus Edison 1v1 is delivering. It's going to be another one in Sad's pocket. Meeson, though, talk about snipers on the Dreamers team. If you're going to look at maybe even just the railgun charge from Top Dragon. What about Meeson just throwing a full volley at the head of the Dallas Fuel? Oh no. It's happened a few times here. Oh, you guys like stuck?
Oh, looks like there was a bit of an issue right there. Yeah, he did look stuck. The Immortality Field was called in at a really good time. Nice reaction from Dagon right there. He also called in the Amp as well, so that's something to note once we get right back in there, because that is going to clear the space from underneath the bridge, so we could expect the Dallas Fuel to then take a counter rotate onto the high ground instead, if they do want to approach from that side. It is also nice to note that I believe right before we went to the pause that Liga had the flux, so we got to see how that also plays out when they do rotate from that high ground, because he could also cut them off like that.
Yeah, if it was an issue for Liga, then maybe we get a chance to see the flux get him out of dodge, but actually it looks like we had a player disconnect coming through, so we'll have to be able to make sure that they get back into the lobby and regame. Let's do it. Dreamers, though, off to a great start on this defense. As long as Dallas Fuel don't get into overtime, I think they're looking good.
Yeah, with the Sigma comps working their way into a circuit, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out through this specific choke point. Because we know that once you get through this next choke point too, Necra, you do have that high to low ground disparity from that hilltop. And then that's where we could really see players like Sad pop off in the way that he has been. Since he did disconnect, hopefully he can come back just as quickly here as we just get set up for you guys.
That's a great call out, that if you do end up seeing Dreamers on the high ground, they already have a lot of pressure with the double hit scan. And so I would worry about Dallas Fuel being able to get close enough to be able to deal with the back line. But the Genji, too. We haven't had a chance to see Dallas Fuel go for the Dragon Blade just yet. There is no nano to go with that right now. So it would just end up being a naked blade coming out from Sparkle. And with all the stuns and the pressure, you got the Immortality Field. That might be a tough ask. Yeah, exactly. Just rock him to the face. That is
interesting. Right when he tries to swing through. I mean, what I could think about here is I do believe Bliss has the rally available. Sparkle does have the blade. Hand in hand, if they do want to get into a better position, they could use the rally. Sparkle then has the opportunity to then move in. But then it comes to say that they want to maybe force out the Flux first if they can, or if they don't have the information that Meeson's close to getting the Transcendence, that's something else that's going to just completely negate the Blade. So Sparkle could just put in that focus to Meeson. We're going to see how this plays out. Getting started already, wasting no time as Sad is now reconnected.
All right, getting back into things. At least we are going to be able to see the Widowmaker ultimate stick around, and so at least you can pop the sights. Gonna force Dallasfield back just a little bit.
Throws that Flux in, and here comes the rally. This means it's going to be the green light for Sparkle. Dreamers playing spread apart. They already have noticed that Sparkle may have it, but Sad being on the high ground and the Discord over some help from Meeson is going to be able to take him out, completely stopping what the Dallasfield had in mind. They use a Transcendence from MCD just to keep Hanbin alive, but it's just a matter of disengaging at this point unless they're trying to purposely go for some swaps once the reset comes in, but Sparkle has now made his way back, and now this is going to allow the Dallasfield to take advantage while there was only 2 members alive originally at the end of that fight.
Okay, Dreamers have to back up from that. That's a great restabilization from Dallas Fuel. They have to give up this space so that Liga can get back into things and be able to have that barrier. But it's starting to look a little bleak here. Dreamers can come back. Top Dragon trying to push them away. But, oh, Christian coming out here from Hanbin.
Hanbin with the Flux here as Meeson's going to be able to retaliate with the Transcendence, keeping everybody alive. But guess what? He used that Trans and didn't take account of Sparkle's Blade, trying to clear up some of that space. Dreamers with the repositioning, the disengage. Yes, they back away. Yes, they're still getting these picks, but they still have allowed the Dallasfield the space necessary to get that first point.
Oh, it's happening again. Vicky, what's going on? Dreamers, they keep fumbling in the final moments of these points. The defense is looking so good from them too. Until Dallasfield were able to get a small pick advantage right before the checkpoint, and they're just gonna keep rolling with this momentum. Oh boy.
The window now gets called in, MCD gets called out. And yeah, it's frustrating honestly to see how talented these individual members of Dreamers are, but when the stress is too much, Sparkle finds the DPS, diving in, doesn't get the reset that time around after finding Salad here. Liga does find Hanbin, the rally from Bliss to allow the Dallasfield to just try to get the pickings as they can when Meeson finding Bliss, so that rally gets shut down just as quickly as it was popped in the end of that fight.
That's a good stabilization here for Dreamers now. Unfortunately, Edison said, you know, that was mean. Why would you do that to Bliss? Edison with that pick also is going to give a little bit more space over to Dallas Fuel. Especially if Sparkle can come back into this when he's 3% away from the Blade. He's able to make quick work of the back line. Well, they cruised up the table too for a little while, so Sparkle could just go in with this.
Oh, Sad. Sparkle with the team fight as well. Sad is taken out. Top Dragon gets revenge though. On the other side, it's Widow for Widow. The Blade was active here for Sparkle. Now moving in. MCD's close to getting that Trans. Dreamers try to disengage. The more talent field was called in for now, helping out Liga for a temporary amount of time. Meeson could have had the Transcendence for that fight, but Dagon's so good at restabilizing the rest of this team, getting this window online just as quick. The Flux, but Top Dragon shuts down Hanbin in the air. They still find Dagon, but the number advantage has allowed itself to go right back in Dreamers' favor. Don't choke this second point. You guys have been so good thus far getting these picks.
They have to back up a little bit. Okay, Dallas Fuel gonna give up a little bit of space. That card is too close for comfort, though. Vicky, there's 10 seconds left. Dreamers have to... they have to contend against the time bank. Hopefully the Transcendence is good enough here.
As for Trans on the other side as well, Top Dragon could get that overclock here. Has been on point. The Trans has already been used up by MCD. That's going to be the green light now as Top Dragon moves in. The follow-up is Liga. Get some help from Meeson. The Transcendence from Dreamers is not only going to put them into position, but Dallas Fuel have nothing, no supports, nothing to follow up on. And it's Dreamers that take out the Dallas Fuel in that last fight, holding them back from getting that second point.
I was so scared. I was so scared they were gonna get that and then just get through all 3 points. Well, listen, Dreamers, they had the Transcendence up. They were able to get that down for long enough for Top Dragon to be able to get the overclock online. That's when Top Dragon can start to play really aggressive. You see that out of his Echo play. He really likes to get into the face of his enemies. And with the overclock, too, really nice to have a little bit of a larger hitbox if they're standing right in front of you, honestly. Oh, man. Still a pretty good push here from Dallas. We'll have to see what they end up doing on their defense. When we ended up seeing, actually, Dreamers play on this map before, they lost to the Dragons. This was the one map that they ended up dropping to them. But they are running a little bit of a different look. Top Dragon didn't play the Sojourn in that matchup. It was the Widowmaker and the Hanzo coming out from Sad and Top Dragon respectively. But the Sojourn looks great.
Amazing. And they also had much more utility to work with in that last fight than the Dallas Fuel. Honestly, with just the Transcendence available, I would have been... I mean, I can't say
that
surprised.
That would have been egregious.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say surprised in losing the overtime. Like, I don't know how... I haven't been counting the amount of times we've seen it throughout the series alone. But more so, like, how. But they, took advantage of what they had to work with. And Edison, it's okay. No one look. We didn't see that.
Maybe that was tactical. Maybe that was a little tactical. He's like, I don't want to pop my head up immediately. Well, I'll give it a second and see if they can hear the grapple going out. That's actually maybe big brain. I'm trying to give him some credit.
I don't know where I'm going. They don't know where I'm going. Yeah, the mind.
Exactly.
All right. On the other side here, as the Dallas Fuel sit on the defense, Dreamers not changing anything here. Swell could be said about the Dallas Fuel with Sparkle sticking onto this Genji. Top Dragon really having a nice performance on the Sojourn, like you mentioned earlier, Necra. See Sad trying to get into position, but Sad has been so on point. He was the first one to get the pick originally here, and looks like Sparkle now has been able to find Dragon here off to the side. Also trying to babysit the health pack, but it was taken right underneath him. Still able to find Meeson in the process, but Liga somehow manages to survive thanks to Dagon.
Dagon is not long for this world, though. Sparkle is just getting so many of these dash resets onto the Genji, which is incredibly impressive, given the fact that Genji in this universe is not meta for a reason. We haven't seen a whole lot of the Genji coming out from any of our teams, but it makes a little bit more sense knowing just how squishy all these targets on Dreamers are. All the dash resets are lending itself really well if you can get a few shurikens in there, get the dash. Sad, Top Dragon. Honestly, the backline too, they'll go down with just a couple quick slices. It's already a Dragon Blade, basically online.
Basically right there. So is Bliss with that rally here too. Nice comparison in the old economy that we've had from both sides. Top Dragon getting into position through that little doorway, allowing himself to have an open window. Look at Top Dragon though! That was so close. Breeze gave Top Dragon a bit of a haircut. On the other side, Hanbin's got the flux here too. You see them going through the bridge, and Sparkle's about to get the blade, waiting patiently as Hanbin's been able to find Dagon. This could be the green light here. The Dallas Fuel just want to hold on to this economy. This is a good call because Dreamers, even with that one pick, they're already disengaging.
Yeah, they don't need it right now. Dallas were already investing the flux. They got a lot done with that initial pick. And so just hold on to it for now. Edison's trying to hunt for a target. Oh, get the sights online. Dallas Fuel with the sights online would be really great to just make sure that Dreamers could get into this.
Top Dragon was screaming help from every angle, and Sparkle just was a nail in the coffin right there since he was on the other side of his sight line. Sparkle was doing the Dougie real quick on the floor before getting taken out by Meeson. Liga now being able to find the other side of the DPS. They won't have their ultimates for this fight, which is a beautiful situation for Dreamers to take advantage of. This is going to have MCD pop the trance. Meeson's going to restabilize right afterwards. It's going to be a disco party here with the body blocks through the doorway. Where can you run? Top Dragon activating the overclock, shutting down too, while Sparkle helps everybody out. He gets shut down because now it's Liga's time to shine.
That was almost such a great transcendence from Meeson. Because at least you're buying some time for maybe the rest of your team to just try to pick up those kills. I mean, Top Dragon able to pop the overclock there after MCD's expired as well. I thought that actually might have left the Dreamers a little bit vulnerable too, though, because Sparkle's at the Dragon Blade online, but couldn't get back in time. I don't know. It was a really great chess match coming out there. Dreamers ended up getting a bit of a checkmate, but you still have this next push, and Edison has that clean mechanical skill.
Off the window on the other side. I mean, it was perfect opportunity. Edison knew exactly where they wanted to be at in that position, and it's going to be a team fight win for the Dallas Fuel. Just an easy cleanup. We talk about that height advantage, too, that allows Edison to take a cheeky head glitch over on the other side, so that way he could find some of those early picks to allow the rest of the field to capitalize.
Absolutely. Edison's been taking full advantage of that. Sparkle, too. Able to soften up some of these targets for Edison to be able to take them clean off. That was a lot of damage there, but Dreamers popping the sights. Dallas Fuel should push back from this just to make sure that Sad doesn't get an easy pick like that. Edison, you should know better.
Oh, especially with Sad wanted to get that revenge here, too. Bucks coming in from Hanbin, but they still lose out on Sparkle. Now Dreamers have free reign over this hilltop. The shiny box of victories on the other side. Now the Gravitic Flux getting called in from Liga. Everybody from the Fuel gets lifted up, but Bliss with the saving grace on the rally to help restabilize everybody while MCD is charging up that trance. Meeson will get it first.
Still gonna come in clutch hope because we are approaching minute and 20 seconds. Meeson might be able to use his Transcendence a little aggressively, but MCD gonna be able to match that now if the going gets really tough. Shouldn't have to deal with too much right now. Dagon's Amplification Matrix might be what Dreamers want to rely on here to try to open things up.
He gets it so quick. Gets it here. Clears out some of the space with the Transcendence from MCD as Edison finds Top Dragon through the amp window again. Sparkle gets the 3K. You have less than a minute now on the clock. With all this progress now, Sparkle is looking to shut it down as he's still holding on to that blade. Meeson will be able to come in with the trance at the very least.
The Transcendence may be good, but the way that Dallas Fuel are playing, they've been forcing out the Transcendence from Meeson so that it hasn't been able to be that response that you would hope for it to be to something like the Dragon Blade. But that's where Meeson has a lot of trouble as well. What do you save it for? The Gravitic Flux or the Dragon Blade? It's tough, but you gotta hope that Meeson knows that Blade is online and he's gonna have to stay safe from that to be able to pop that ultimate.
Has to stay alive. Top Dragon activates the overclock as quickly as he gets it, but Sparkle with the deflect off of the overclock shot onto Dagon. The Transcendence is there, but I'm sorry, Meeson, you have nobody but Liga to help you out. Nobody from the Dreamers to stay on the point. The Dallas Fuel hold them back, and they take our first series of the day, 3-0.
Oh, that was so close. That was so close. So much credit to Dreamers for making that as close of an affair that it was. They really pushed Fuel to their limits to make sure that they were able to grab these points in overtime. Had to have those clutch moments with all of those headshots. Edison and Sparkle going absolutely nuts in this match to be able to pull that off.
That was beautiful. Edison out here, Sparkle with the blade. Amazing adjustments from the Dallas Fuel when their backs were against the wall. Dreamers putting up such an amazing fight. Have to give credit where it's due here. It was very close each time. Definitely needs to work out these kinks when it comes to dealing with the extra pressure, especially when you're in overtime. And it's nice to highlight our player of the match. It's going to be going on to Edison.
Edison absolutely deserves this. I think every player on the Dallas Fuel deserves this in some capacity. But Edison's impact with the Sombra EMPs, they were multiple players every single time and always converted over to value. Excellent team fight finishing blows from Edison. And it was also not just that, but can we remember that Reaper 5K?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then the respects where they just let Edison get the entire team wipe, and then Edison denying that from Hanbin. Love to see the vibes on this Dallas Fuel. It was just such Reaper behavior. Like, the amount of times that's happened, you know, it's the back and forth. But you know what? You love to see it when the Dallas Fuel end up capitalizing and coming on top, because that was still a very close first map, literally going down to the wire, which is why it kicked off such a gigabanger of a first match here in the East region. Edison being your player of the match. But Necker, you highlighted it. Every individual piece from the Dallas Fuel helped this entirely. Honestly, my eyes were on Hanbin that entire time. The way that Hanbin had so many opening opportunities for both Edison and Sparkle. And then we saw the flexibility over to the Sigma that we have been seeing usually on circuit. So being able to have that and then perform to the way that he did in the earlier maps on the Winston, always enjoyable to see, especially against the counter flexibility from Dreamers, whether it be the Diva, the Winston, the Ryan here, as we take a look at some of our highlights of Edison. Being on the Echo Sin wasn't my favorite highlight, but this one definitely is. In this moment, the Blizzard was called in, gets rid of the lamp, takes care of everybody else left from Dreamers, and then at the very end, they stop attacking Dreamer just for him to get the 5k. And once again, on Numbani, just being able to be flexible so that way he can still stick to this Echo, tries to contest Top Dragon to the skies, and still sticking through it, even when he had to be flexible and then change over to the Sombra that we saw the most impact on this map.
Yeah, the Sombra was just so immaculate. I think what always is such a treat to watch from Edison is it doesn't matter what's on. Maybe we were looking a little lackluster on the Echo versus Top Dragons, but still, the duplicate conversion over to actual value. You saw the Echo, the Reaper, the Widowmaker. There's so many different heroes that Edison can pull out of his pocket, and every single one just super inspiring today.
It was on the edge for both these teams. Sparkle had this pop-off moment, but that first pick here from Edison right through that window before finishing off what was left of Dreamers to the very end. Dallas Fuel, again, your winners of that very first series. Let's hop into an interview to see how the Dallas Fuel are feeling after that close banger.
안녕하세요. 에디슨 선수 승리 축하드립니다.
안녕하세요.
Hello, Edison.
네,
Congrats
승리
on your
소감
win.
어떠신가요?
How do you feel?
승리 소감 오늘 좀 이제 쉽게 가는 줄 알았는데 그래도 한 번씩 고비가 좀 있어가지고
I thought it would be easy today, but we had some kind of challenges along the way.
아쉬움이 남는다고
So a little bit
말씀하셨는데
not
상대팀
satisfied,
드리블즈
but
굉장히 단단한
overall
러쉬
good.
조합 가지고 왔는데 잘 파괴하신 것 같습니다. 오늘 뭐 델러스의 경기력 그럼 어떻게
So,
평가하실까요?
Dreamers challenged your side with a firm rush comp, but you overcame the challenge and got on
네.
top. How would you rate your performance today?
평소보다 근데 못한 것 같아가지고 그냥 나쁘지 않게 했다.
So, not bad, but not as good as we were in
앞서
scrims.
말씀하신 대로 살짝의 아쉬움이 남아 있는 것 같습니다. 부산 맵 한번 짚어보자면요. 윈솜트에 루시우를 쓰시더라고요. 블리스 선수가.
네네네.
So, let's talk about Busan a little bit. You brought Lucio to pair with Ana in Busan. Was there a special reason?
때문에 이제 아나브리가 좀 힘들 거라 생각해가지고 이제 루시오로 그냥 받아치면서 좀.
So we thought Brig was going to be a little kind of off, especially against their composition. So we just decided to go with the Lucio to just counter what they do.
잘 모르게.
괜찮은 생각이었다고 생각합니다.
Did you think it worked
그럼
out?
종종 이 루시우
Well,
기용하는
I guess a little
모습을
bit.
저희가 볼수 있을까요?
네, 한 번씩 나올 것 같습니다.
Can we expect the Lucio paired with the Ana in
눈반이 때요.
future games?
이 정말 제가
It's
개인적으로
situational,
궁금한
but
질문이요.
yes.
계속 3거점까지 추가 시간에 미셨습니다. 그때 혹시 기분이 어떠셨어요?
Numbani was very close. You capped all 3 points, but at overtime every time. How did you feel?
하고 있는데 그냥 그 심정이었습니다.
아 너무 아쉽다라는 그런 생각이
So
들었을 것 같은데.
the only thought in my mind was like, oh man, we
에디슨
should have capped this a lot earlier. We're not doing that well.
눈반이
What are your thoughts on Numbani in general?
이제 에코를 기용하는 팀들이 많아서 에코도 사용 가능하고 이제 송브라도 사용 가능한 맵인데 또 좀 더 이제 2층이 많기 때문에 에코를 많이 사용해서.
So in Numbani, a lot of teams play. Some teams play the Echo. Some teams play the Sombra. There are a lot of kind of vertical height in this map, so I think a lot of teams try to opt with the Echo more a little bit on this map.
에코 하면 되니까.
Well, I mean, I don't have any strong feelings about Numbani because, you know, I can always just play the Echo.
우리 델러스의 MCD 선수에게 많이 견제를 당했습니다. 그에 비해서 상대적으로 에디슨 선수는 편안하게 딜을 넣은 것 같으세요? 아니면 나도 마찬가지로 견제를 당했다라고
Well, let's talk about the Echo fight a little bit. Dreamer's Echo had a hard time because MCD was keeping them in check, while you were kind of flying a little bit unhindered. Do you agree that you had a better time, like team-wise?
그냥 드는 생각은 드는 생각은 내가 못했다 정도.
Well, I mean, I don't really know about how like MCD kind of put the other Echo in check, but I just do have this in mind that I should have played better a little bit. I did a little bit a lacking performance, for lack of a better word.
도발 인터뷰를 한 것에 대해서 좀 귀엽다라는 말을 했는데 에디슨 선수 그 인페르날과의 경기 어떻게 기대해봐도 좋을까요?
So next up, you have the Infernal. The Infernal did make some comments about your interview in Dallas's interview last time. Do you have anything to say?
하겠습니다.
네, 이번 시즌 델러스가
Well, I mean,
오프라인 경기가 없는
not
걸로
much to
알고
say. We'll
있는데
just show improve.
맞나요?
네.
네, 그래서 팬분들이 많이 아쉬워하고 있는데 마지막으로 팬분들께 한마디 해주시고
So,
인터뷰
any last
마치도록 하겠습니다.
messages to your fans?
저희가 그 스프링 시즌에는 저희가 주춤하는 경향이 있었는데 그 이번에는 제가 좀 더 열심히 해서
So spring, I wasn't really at my best. I'll definitely work it out in summer stage, and then I'll show you guys a performance that you and I can both be happy with.
네,
And
다시
thank you
한번
for all your
승리
support.
축하드립니다. 지금까지 에디슨 선수와 인터뷰 나눠봤습니다.
And this was the end of the
이상 인터뷰
interview.
마치도록
Back to you,
하겠습니다.
Vicky.
Thank you so much, Unknown. Shout out to Unknown, the GOATs, being able to let us know thoughts from Edison and approach to this series that they thought was going to be easy but didn't end up working out in the best way that they could here. That was going to be our first series of the day. We still got so much more action for you guys on the other side of this break. It's going to be our next series.